Good morning, everyone. It is raining. And that is very sad, although it's very warm today, so it's kind of like spring rain. At least it's not gone back to being cold. But I am doing the one thing that I always say that I can't do, is I'm trying to film 2 bits of content at once. So I'm currently filming a TikTok with Revlon for their new Color Stay Limitless like matte lipstick, and I've got my favorite shade from the collection on at the moment, and I'm doing a little bit of like how long does my lipstick last style vlog, and I've got some errands to run today because I am a golf widow. So I thought I would zhuzh up my Friday because my normal Pilates class at Farmhouse was not on, and so I went and I did Reformer instead with Claire, which was just such a treat. I thought I would speak to you when I got here because it was so much easier for me to concentrate, but I had Pilates this morning with Claire and it was wonderful. But it was raining this morning and now the sun is coming out and it is filling my heart with joy. I have just driven over to a place called Yardley Hastings. Now, unfortunately, when you're watching this, this fair will no longer be on. I only saw it on Instagram like a couple of days ago and I don't live too far, so I thought I'm just gonna pop over and have a look because it looks beautiful and this village is so pretty. I think I'm gonna go and have a bit of a potter around. I've just arrived at their Oakfield Community Sensory Garden where they've got a beautiful kitchen garden. So anyway, I thought I'd take you in with me and we can go and have a look around the art fair. Can you guess which one I've bought? I was not expecting to buy 2 bits of artwork, but very, very happy that I managed to get 2 penny Germans. But the ladies at the art exhibition, which is at Yardley Arts, have just been telling me to have a walk around the village, so that's what I'm going to do. I've come up to the church, which is so pretty. Just taking a stroll down Rectory Lane. Oh my goodness me. All of the hollyhocks in this village are spectacular. I thought I would come and have a look around their sensory garden. This is so beautiful. I have all of the passiflora flowers climbing up these posts, and then this gorgeous little water fountain that just has a little tiny trickle. Oh, that is exquisite. I'd like one of these in our garden. There's lots of places to sit, willow sort of fencing that looks like it's been done to suit the area. So beautiful. They actually do a willow weaving class at the Arts Centre, which is something that I'm very much interested in. Erected by the members of this club in memory of the comrades who served and fell in the Great War, 1914 to 1919. Beautiful beds, some salvia in there, some fuchsia, some lavender, and then we come to the little kitchen garden. We've got some carrots in here, and I think these are mange too that may have gone over a little bit. A little tiny orchard there as well, and some strawberries. That was an absolute tonic of an afternoon. I got to speak to the lovely Polly who runs the Yardley Arts Centre and just chat about art and social media and things like that. I then took a little stroll around the village, which was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. If you're in the area and you maybe want to go and look at some art, they do obviously have exhibitions on, so check. They also do like classes, willow weaving, watercolours. Apparently Penny German does an art class and I'm going to have to do it. That is a given. And such a beautiful village, and it was so lovely speaking to them because they were so passionate about their village as well. Perfect little stroll around. The gardens are gorgeous, the cottages are gorgeous, and I am now on my way to look at riding boots. That was a successful trip to get some riding boots. The girls were amazing and really like helped me get the perfect fit. So very much looking forward to have ticked that off my list of things that I've needed to get, so that when I do ride, I'm doing so safely, because I've been doing it in Dewberry's and that's not the way to do it. But we are almost home and I am bloomin' starving. Well, I did not expect to be wearing an outfit like this in July in England, but here we are. It is a very wet day. There was thunder and lightning through the night and I had a very scared Portaline. Barclay couldn't care less, but Porty was so upset by it. I had to put my dressing gown down for him to be able to sleep closer to me, because he was so upset. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. And he's definitely heard thunder and lightning before. Anyway, outfit of the day. Not what I was expecting in July, like I said. I'm wearing a Beaufort and Blake brushed cotton. It's sort of like a muddy blue shirt. I love their brushed cotton for when it's a little bit chillier, because it feels more like a sort of cozy jumper. These trousers are Theory. Now, I would like to make one polite request to Theory. Please, can we get another size in your waist? Because this is like 2 sizes too big on the waist. And these trousers are another level of comfort. I've actually worn them so much already. I actually wear them on dog walks as well, because they're like sort of chinos, but they're stretchy and they just look like trousers rather than wearing leggings all of the time. I just hate wearing leggings all the time for comfort. And then Fairfax and Favour Regina boots, which are a must. I picked up my boots yesterday, which I'm really happy about. I got my riding boots, so I'm all set, but I am ravenous. I was so tired this morning, and as usual, without reason, I really think I want to look into my energy levels, because there's something there that's amiss, because I didn't overexert myself yesterday, but my goodness, this morning, I did give myself a layer. Really bizarre. So I'm going to make myself some food. I've got some oak leaf lettuce in the beds, which I think is ready to go. And I've got some bits and pieces, so I think I'm going to throw a salad together just for lots of goodness. Now, I wanted to run this morning, but as with energy levels, it was not happening. And considering it's raining as well, I think it takes extra energy when it's raining to like run, because you've really got to go to like a mental place with it, and when it's raining, it's really hard. Why was I telling you this? Oh, that was it. I haven't been outside. So I haven't been outside today because the sausage dogs definitely won't walk in this weather. And I haven't been outside today to see the chickens just yet. And oh, well, hello. Hello. So I may well even need a scarf, because having the chesticle on show when it's as wet as it is outside at the moment is bold. I'm going to harvest some mange too first, and also cut off any that have gone over, but there's lots here, so I'll definitely have those in a salad, I think. These are my oak leaf lettuces, and they are doing so well. Now, I saw on Irene's stories that you don't actually have to take the whole floret, you can just take leaves. So I think I'm going to try that out for the first time ever, because I like not taking the whole thing out and then having to start regrowing, so we'll see how that goes. I'm also going to take some nasturtium flowers and some of the leaves as well for the salad. This is looking very lovely. We've also got some kale, so I'm going to take some of that as well. Tell me that is not the most spectacular looking basket of greenery. Oh, the rains are coming! Quick, inside! Well, I just can't cope. I'm going to get all of this washed. I might actually use the kale leaves to make kale chips, because obviously I don't have crisps anymore. And these could be really lovely. I've got loads actually, I could make more. So that's an idea. And then I'm going to put some cucumber, nuts, maybe a little bit of bacon, some croutons, but homemade, into the salad for a lovely, lovely salad, even though it's cold. We have the oak leaf lettuce washed and ready to go. I am trying to sort of pad it out, get some of the water off, because oak leaf lettuce tends to hold water quite a lot. So I'm just trying to dry it off just a little bit. The bacon is in the oven. The croutons, which are very slapdash croutons, okay? I'm not baking them or anything like that. I'm just toasting a bit of bread and breaking it up. And I'll probably rub it with a bit of garlic. Simple, less faff. That should do with that. Check on. Bacon coming along nicely. So I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna get this into my bowl. Get some butter. Well, my dad got me these little wooden spatulas from, I think he got them from IKEA. And I just don't like spreading butter with anything else. And you can't get them anymore as far as I know. Fresh bit of Daylesford butter. This is fresh out of the fridge, so sadly isn't going to spread as nicely as I would like, but that usually just means more butter for me. A little clove of garlic, and this you do very gently, otherwise you are going to absolutely stink. And I just rub it into the butter. It's the easiest way to make croutons. It's not the proper way, but then why would you come to me for the proper way? But it is quick. As soon as this sound is heard, the sausage dogs appear. Now, mange do. Well, it doesn't look like a lot, but there's a lot in there. There's bacon, mozzarella, parmesan, cucumbers, mange tout, oak leaf lettuce, sesame seeds, cashews, and nasturtium flower and leaves as well. The dressing is just Daylesford organic extra virgin olive oil, sorry. And then this is the Jamie Oliver white condiment. It's not UPF as far as I can see, and it is delicious, and it's so good for just adding flavour to things like this, and you just pour it on. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's lovely. Well, that salad was bloomin' delicious, but I cannot fight the fact that I feel bloomin' exhausted today, and I have no idea why. I always feel like I get to the weekend and I'm like, I'm so tired. Well, hello! You hear mummy talking and you think it must be to you. And the weather is so interchangeable today. I honestly think all I want to do is light the fire and read on the sofa. I can do a bit of work if I want to, but in all honesty, before I do that, I've been sat and I've been thinking about a lot of things, because I know I've been sharing. Can I pop you there on my little tissue box? I hope I can. We need to be a little bit higher than that, don't they, Portaline? A little bit higher. Oh, are we boring you, Porter? Are we boring you? I'm sat here thinking, because I know I've spoken a lot about a few different topics in my last videos, like the courage to be disliked, and also like living your best life and that kind of thing. But I genuinely believe first and foremost, that everything happens like in your mind. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, I like to think I'm very different to how I was like 3 or 4 years ago. And that all started with me wanting to like get my mind right and wanting to understand what was going on with me. Why was I anxious? Why was I so depressed? Why was I miserable? Why was I not happy all the time? And I needed to really like understand that. And I think when I talk about these subjects, a lot of the time people think that first and foremost that I'm doing it for reassurance. And I want you to know that I don't need any reassurance in the realms of like being comfortable being disliked, because I realized I had to go on a journey with that a few years ago. One of the things that I've found most, I definitely say it's like my purpose, because I often asked myself, what is it that I'm doing these videos for? What is it that I'm an influencer for? It isn't because I want you to spend all your money on the things that I have and things like that. I show you things in case you're in the market for them, and it means that I get to work and do these things. But my purpose, which is something that I realized recently in the last few years, is I hope that by watching my videos, if you haven't already discovered how to live a really lovely life, as I navigate that and learn that, I hope that through my videos you'll learn it too. Whether that's getting on dog walks more, whether that's being in the garden, or whether that's learning the abilities of your mind. And I thought it would be super helpful for me to put almost like a reading list together of like a quick stop book flight of how to change your life in like a matter of weeks. And I think that that would be really helpful if I was to sort of put where to start and where to sort of finish where I'm at now. I know I'm going to be learning for the rest of my life, but I thought that this might be quite helpful as like a one-stop shop, because I know that there'll be people watching this thinking, you know, what does she mean by this? And when she says this, what does she mean by that? And blah, 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 blah. Or you're thinking, I really want to get myself to a place where I'm so comfortable in who I am that I don't care what other people think, and I live a life that I'm happy with. I was so convinced that I had to be liked by everyone in order to be good at my job. I made myself miserable. And what I've realized from that is that I actually just have to be myself, and whoever likes me can stay, and whoever doesn't like me can leave. Because I want you to always remember that I'm never preaching to you in these things. I'm merely sharing what I think, how I've done things on my corner of the internet. You are choosing to be here. It's like you coming to my house. You are choosing to come to my house. And if you don't want to hear what I'm saying, then you absolutely don't have to. But I hope that there are some people that are listening and watching that enjoy what I'm saying and find great benefit in what I'm saying and some of the things that I'm sharing, because I don't want to gatekeep this stuff. I want us all to live really happy lives, because the happier lives that we lead, the better the world gets, the less anger, frustration. If we're living happier lives as individuals, the world will get better. My world got better. I became a nicer, more empathetic, kinder human being through learning how to understand my brain. And it's so interesting because some of the things that you learn on this, you think, my gosh, is that me becoming really like stone cold? Is that me becoming really like indifferent? But actually what I've realized is sometimes kindness isn't the thing that we think it is. A lot of the time we think that kindness is putting an arm around someone and saying they're there. For me, kindness is very much someone telling me straight, not mincing their words. Someone saying to me, well, you could do better in this aspect. I think you're really good at this, but perhaps you could be better at this. Or have you ever thought about doing something this way? That to me is way more beneficial than someone putting their arm around me and allowing me to wallow in my self-pity. So with that in mind, Barclay, it all started with me wanting to be able to do my job in a world where people say quite unnecessarily unkind things to me every single day. Every every single day someone will say something that is completely unnecessary. And for a long time, especially during COVID, that ramped up a notch. And that has been now discussed quite openly in terms of the media sense as well. I listened to a podcast recently with Richard Osman on, I think it's called like That's Just Entertainment or something like that. And they were talking about how complaints and outrage and this outrage culture really ramped up a notch during COVID. And that's something that's still sort of almost, I think it's on the downward spiral. I wanted to learn how to exist in that world with that kind of intensity, with that sort of ferocity that I'd never experienced before in my life on that scale. But what it's led me to is a place where I have not only let go of people's opinions of me, but also I have now let go of the things that I thought defined me as well. Obviously, I had a life coach before. I had my life coach because I couldn't see anyone existing and thriving in the world that I was in. Does that make sense? Like, there are 110% women in this industry that get it way worse than I get. So much more ferocious. They're bigger than me. And I was sort of looking to them, hoping that they were going to know what to do. And so I wanted to find a way to really thrive and love my job. And I couldn't see anyone doing that. So I went in search of a life coach, and that's how I found Jacqueline. And Jacqueline really was that like introduction into truly taking control of my mind. If you want Jacqueline's details, I have spoken about her so much. She's been on my channel. I'll link all of her like videos and things like that in the description box down below. She is one of the best life coaches in the UK, and it's not easy to get in with her, but it's also, she commands a price tag that matches her abilities. And now I think I'm at a really good place, and this is the place where, when I started my reading journey, it's where Mo Gawdat says it takes him 7 seconds to be able to make peace with a situation and be happy again. So if you're in your life now in a situation where something has happened to you, perhaps you encountered someone on your day today and they were really rude to you. Perhaps it was just the lady in the shop. In fact, I remember I had this one instance where I was at the Eurostar and I walked up and I stood in front of the lady and I didn't look at her because I knew that they just had to take your picture, and I didn't look at her. I was probably too lost in my own negative thoughts. She said to me something like, "You need to look in the camera," and I was like, oh gosh, sorry. Because to me that was like way over the top, and I just spiraled from that for the rest of the day. This lady had been rude to me. There I am overthinking it, thinking about, God, what of this, that and the other, and then something else happens, and then you're just spiraling. And that is what happened to me in most of my life. Something bad would happen, I'd go straight to being the victim of it. Like, why does all of this stuff always happen to me? What's her problem? And I wanted to learn how to approach those things differently. And so what I would recommend is, if you're sat there at the moment thinking about how you want to change your life, you want to stop being so much on an emotional roller coaster through life. Maybe it's someone beeping at you on the roads. Maybe you've got a difficult relative, in-law, friend, co-worker, and you're so sick of the way that you feel about the situation that you want to kind of learn how to make peace with it, then I would suggest starting with Mo Gawdat's book. And from there, I found myself listening to Jacqueline's book, because I just think if ever I can get more of Jacqueline, I will. And that's where you get kind of an introduction into what she teaches and how she teaches. And I love Jacqueline because she is straight talking and just so to the point. So I think those two books are a brilliant place to start. What I've noticed about a lot of people who embark on self-help journeys is they listen to the information that's in the books or with the life coach or with the therapist, and what they don't do is they don't take the lesson and the information that is given to them into their own life and apply it to the situations in their life throughout their life. So for example, at the moment, this is where my mind goes kind of instantly, because it's what I've been learning about at the moment, with regards to like the traumas that people experience in their lives, whether that's something as commonplace as your parents divorcing, losing a parent, or losing a sibling, or losing someone you love, right through to those very much more traumatic experiences in life. And what you need to do when you're absorbing these lessons is take the understandings of how to think and those thought processes and literally apply them in real time. So every time my mind would go to thoughts of my mum and dad, God, you know, look at my friends, they've got their mum and dad together, like they're so lucky to have that family unit, they're so lucky to have that, they're so lucky to have their mum or their dad or this, that and the other in their lives. I'm now of the understanding that that thought process doesn't serve me in any way, shape or form. What serves me better is finding the good in the situations that I cannot control. And the good that I was able to identify through my parents' divorce, to use the most, probably the one that the most of us have experienced, is my parents didn't stay together just to keep my brother and I happy. I have to say that as like an underpinning, because I cannot imagine the guilt I would experience getting to like 30, 40 years old, realizing that my parents put their entire lives on hold for me. Awful. I got to learn a lot of lessons about relationships and how to deal with them. There's nothing better than learning from other people's mistakes. Really positive things. They've gone on to have their own lives and their own happinesses and their own experiences, and again, I've been able to learn from that. They've also gone on to have other relationships and find happiness elsewhere, and again, learning lessons that maybe I wouldn't do, lessons I would do. But the biggest acknowledgement, and this is the one acknowledgement that I find takes the sting out of everything, is I wouldn't be the person that I am today had I not gone through the divorce of my parents. Maybe something a little bit more niche is that we had to navigate when we lost Lynx, and how at the time both Ali and I had to find our own closure. If you don't know, once upon a time we did have 2 cats. When we moved to this house, I can link the video, but Ali surprised me with a kitten right before we got married, and that was Lynx. We moved to this house with Lumi and Lynx, and we felt really lucky to live here because we lived here and there's no sort of main roads around here. And so within 2 months of living here, we let both of the cats out, and it made their lives so much better. However, one evening Lynx disappeared and we never found him. We conducted an extensive search. We experienced incredible kindness, people traveling from all over the country to come and help us look. And we also experienced incredible unkindness as well. And after a few months, we really had to accept that we thought we understood what happened to him, and make peace with the situation. And by doing so, we had to find the positives in that situation. First of all, the incredible kindness that we experienced through having the audience that we had. Second of all, experiencing the incredible unkindness, which is something that you'll see happen in the media a lot. We had people tell us that they'd seen him, tell us that they had him, leading us down garden paths. There's one thing that always sticks out in my mind where we went looking locally and some people had told us that he was in their area. And I thought to myself, it's really interesting that they've not come out to help us and to show us. They were sort of looking at us out the window. Now I obviously know my non-desperate brain was, I think they were probably enjoying our suffering a little bit. But experiencing that level of unkindness can only make you a better person. And also we were able to acknowledge that Lumi is happier now that he's not here. That's a hard one to swallow because we weren't happy for a very, very long time. But we can't deny it. She's happier as a single cat. She loves the dogs so much more, and will curl up with the dogs and will sit in the same room. We couldn't ever have Lynx and Lumi in the same room, which is sad. So those are the 3 things that really helped me make peace with the situation and move on, and not let it destroy me every single day for the rest of my life. I'm very fortunate. I haven't had huge amounts of trauma in my life, and I've only ever shared the ones that I feel relevant to sharing on my channel. But this can be applied to absolutely everything in your life. But what I've realized is, if I could give you one tip for when reading these books, it really is making sure that when something resonates with you in these books, don't just read it and understand it. Read it, understand it, and then immediately apply it to something that is causing you upset in your life, there and then. And then throughout life, do that. That same practice. Hold on a minute, I understand that I know that I have to consciously flip this thought that I'm having now. You know, where would I be if so-and-so hadn't broken up with me? Well, I could be really happy, but also I might not be doing what I'm doing now, where I'm traveling the world and meeting all of these amazing people, for example. You have to flip every situation and every thought and everything that happens to you with the positives, and instantly the positive thought becomes a positive feeling and your whole day becomes more positive. That truly is my one piece of advice that I think that people overlook in the self-help journey. This is self-help. You have to do the work consistently for it to work. Self-help. No one is going to kick you up the hill. No life coach, no book, no podcast is going to kick you up that hill. You have to kick yourself up that hill. And you do that by actively applying the lessons that are in these books. So anyway, I've kind of segued there. But Solve for Happy is the best place to start. How to Do You by Jacqueline Hurst is a real sort of like condensed version of life coaching and understanding your mind in the best possible way. From there, I would probably say that the best place to go is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Now, I listened to 2 of his books and I listened to them the wrong way round. So I'm telling you to listen to them the right way round. I know Ali listened to them the same way that I did, and he said that he felt The Obstacle is the Way was the best place to start. Because once you've read Solve for Happy and How to Do You, maybe give yourself a little bit of time to actively implement the lessons that you've learned in those books, and then move on to The Obstacle is the Way. Because The Obstacle is the Way essentially is it's exactly what it says on the tin. The obstacle in your life right now, whether that is a traumatic experience, perhaps you had a car crash, perhaps something really out of the ordinary happened, that obstacle, walking straight towards it, confronting it, making peace with it, moving past it, is the only way. If you skirt around it, you're going to be skirting around it for the rest of your life. And in this book, it is a one-stop book to peace. From there, you can take that learning even deeper and you can go towards the Daily Stoic. When you're listening to the Daily Stoic, I would say that is a real difficult listen and difficult learning. But my goodness, is it just like, it's one of those books, if I don't have anything to listen to, I just start listening to it again. It's designed around listening to a sort of philosophical anecdote from Marcus Aurelius, the like. It's designed to be consumed one like philosophical quote or anecdote per day. You know what I'm like, I listen to it in almost one go. You then go away and really dissect what is being taught and what is being said. That was where I probably found the most sort of wave of peace come over me. But like I said, it is a difficult listen. I would say that if you're listening to it, I could never read it. I could never sit down and read that book first and foremost, okay? That I would be like Snoresville. I listened to that when I was getting ready in the morning, so my concentration is on something that I don't need to use my brain to do, like my makeup. So my brain is fully engaged with what is being said. That's where I think my journey of understanding my mind and understanding human behaviors started to really like cement itself, and I felt these waves of peace come over me that I just actually cannot put into words. From the Daily Stoic, I would say only then would you start reading a book like The Courage to Be Disliked. Because even just from some of the comments that I received on my last video where I've mentioned it, it is so different to the way society is at the moment in terms of how they approach life. Just like I said, it opens up with understanding trauma. One of the most beneficial is, for me at the moment, I'm listening to Understanding Anger, and I think we all experience anger, and it's just something that we experience. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be an angry person, whether that's at somebody else, at myself, at a situation. I don't want to be an angry person because it feels so counterintuitive. It feels like that is something that is very much within me, personal to me, and yet expecting it to be for other people as well, if that makes sense. So what I'm trying to do is to sort of build you up in stages to the thought processes. And the really interesting thing about the courage to be disliked is that it is set out through discussions of a philosopher and essentially like a student. And the student is saying all of the things that I would have said 4 years ago to try and justify where I was. And that's what I mean when I say it's almost like looking back at a past version of yourself in this book and understanding how the lessons that we are taught at the moment with regards to so many things in society are creating spaces for us to be more miserable, to be more unhappy, to be more anxious, depressed. And obviously I know that there is depression and anxiety where it's kind of like a chemical reaction in the body, and I fully understand that because it makes perfect sense to me, because I experience a chemical reaction in my body once a month, which causes me many of those symptoms. I just want to preface that because I wouldn't want someone to think that I'm like making a blanket statement about everyone. I think that learning how to think has been the most transformative to my health, to my happiness, to my beauty. And I mean beauty in the sense that we're all beautiful, but like just my skin, my hair, my eyes, my sparkle in them. Like learning how to think releases you from the effects of what your mind can have on your physical body, because as we know, the way we think affects us physically. For example, if you don't believe me, when you're scared, obviously your whole body can shake. That is your mind letting you know that you are in danger, you are frightened, and it has created a physical response in your body. If you are embarrassed, if you think, oh my God, I've just said something stupid, I've just embarrassed myself in front of the person that I fancy, you will blush. So as we know, the link between our mind and our body is absolutely like in synergy. And learning how to understand my brain and the way my brain will serve me thoughts when someone says to me, you know, oh my God, isn't that embarrassing? And I go, oh my God, is that embarrassing? Have I embarrassed myself? Oh my God, now I'm embarrassed. Oh my God. And I beat myself up for like 5 days because I've embarrassed myself. Through learning how to use my brain, I don't experience that anymore. I just understand that that is someone's opinion and I will have my own opinion. And it's kind of how I apply things to everything now in my life. If you're looking at me thinking, gosh, Lydia, it's so embarrassing that you dress like that. Like, I always get these comments and I'm never saying it from a place of like, I'm upset by them. But when people say to me things like, you know, you're cosplaying, that's someone's opinion to how I dress. What I have realized is that it doesn't matter whether somebody thinks I am cosplaying or faking or whatever, as long as in me and in my like world and in my life, I can say to myself, no, if I wasn't posting this on the internet and nobody was there to watch, would I still be doing this? And if the answer is yes, then I know that the only person that knows the truth in that situation is me. And so I get it, I understand why somebody would think that, because I've changed, I've evolved, I've got really comfortable with not being concerned with whether somebody else thinks that of me or not, and just continuing on anyway, because I can't live my life for that person. And it's an example that I think is so useful when we're talking about this, because when you start valuing your happiness above the opinions of others, it's when you find freedom. And that is exactly where I am. It's why I do not mind whether there's hundreds of pages on the internet posting things about me that think that, because I know that I've already asked myself the question, do I think that I shouldn't be able to dress or live or do certain things because somebody else thinks that that is only reserved for other people? I don't agree. It makes no sense to me. I think that everybody should just be able to dress and do and live and be however they want to be and not worry about what anyone else thinks. And that is where I am in my life. Otherwise, if I wasn't, the moment that people started pointing and laughing at me, because there have been many people that point and laugh at me on the internet, that make fun of me, that use me as the hook for their TikTok videos. I've seen them and I find it super, super interesting. And also, just more than anything, I find it more sad, because I'm like, I want you to experience the freedom that I experience in knowing that I'm just doing what makes me happy. And I really want you to do what makes you happy too. The reason why I'm telling you about these books is because I notice so much about the world that we live in at the moment, and how a lot of worth is taken from being the most popular, having the most numbers online. It defines you as a person. It creates this air of popularity. And when you get to your deathbed, none of that will matter if you didn't live a happy life. And I promise you that all of that will come when you are living the happy life without the concerns of all of the things that are bogging you down at the moment and holding you back. Perhaps it's the thoughts of others, the opinions of others. Perhaps it's the thing that happened to you in your life that you can't move past. Perhaps it's the anxiety and the depression that maybe you don't understand. Hopefully, by learning to understand your mind in this way, it will set you free. And so those are the books. I'm going to pop them in order with a little bit of like a blurb about why and what and where this book fits into everyday life. And I genuinely believe that with these books, your life will be changed. And I truly believe that once you're on this journey and you're learning how to use your mind, once you are free of the expectations of other people, you will find yourself turning to things like nature. Obviously, my book Evergreen is a book that I think is hugely, and I know is hugely powerful and helpful to so many people, because once you remove all of the faff and the fluff and all of the stuff that we think we need in our lives, as a former fluff lover, like the cars, the house, whatever, the bags, this, that and the other, you find yourself reconnecting with the things that actually matter. How close you can get to nature, how reconnected you can get. And I truly believe that Evergreen will be a book that you just kind of naturally turn to once you are in this journey and once you have started listening to books like this. You can read the books. I personally find that being able to listen to them as if it was like almost like an inner monologue out loud, that I can stop, I can rewind, I can go back to, I can listen again, I can listen to an entire chapter again, and I can listen to the book 3 times over if I want to. But these are the books that are going to help you change your life. You just have to make sure that you are understanding that you have to do the work. When a point is made in the book, make sure that you take that point that you go, oh wow, you take it and you apply it to the situation in your life. You take it and you utilize it every single day in learning how to navigate situations. I've been learning recently about navigating, dealing with people that are upset or difficult or angry at you for some sort of for any type of reason. I understand now that I cannot control how people choose to pull up a chair at my table. I can only be comfortable with how I've pulled up my own chair, how I turn up, my response. These past few years have been the most transformative for me, and one of the things I will always try and do is put my content together in a way that hopefully you guys go, I'm going to go and download that, I'm going to go and listen to that, I'm going to go and read that, because I actually think that that could really help my life. And I hope that that is what happens through my videos. That's literally where my happiness lies. Every time I'm sharing like a lesson or a moment or a learning or an experience or a response, I'm sharing it purely because I take so much joy in the thought that I might be doing this with like-minded people on the internet as you. And that's where I get a huge amount of purpose from. It's more of like my mission nowadays is navigating that. And yes, the clothes and the beauty and the living a good life is all part of that, but nothing will change your life more than learning how to think. And so all of those books is your homework. If you're watching this and you're like, I need to change my life, I can't continue like this anymore, something's got to give. I want to take control of my life, my thoughts, my emotions, everything. I want to take control, because you can have complete control, and that's not in a like control freak kind of way. It is in a measured approach to life way. Your thoughts, your feelings, how you live your day-to-day life can be the most calm and peaceful experience you will ever have. But the only person that can be the self in the self-help is you. So I hope this was helpful. The sausage dogs have been doing a lot of work with this, but yeah, all of the information to those books will be linked down below. It'll probably all be on my Amazon storefront anyway, but I thought that this was like, I wanted to put together almost like a quick stop, like go away, do the homework, change your life in a matter of weeks, and then come back to me. Well, I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments. And also, if you do go away and listen to these books, I want to know how you get on. Okay, so let me know. Well, my bun has fallen apart to within an inch of its life, but I think you're trying, I feel like your dogs are trying to tell me something. Is it food? 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 I think is it food time, Barkley? Is it food time? Oh my goodness, it's food time! Oh. Literally, they've been like, all right, this bun is on its last legs. They have been like burrowing in between me, scratching me. I understand that you are a better timekeeper than your mummy. Sorry that you've got a crotch shot there, but his snoot is actually in between my legs. Oh, the saddest little snoot. Oh, yes, we're coming. Barkley? Barkley? Food? Oh my goodness. Hooligans! No! Right, let's go. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. No! Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. How are you still so squeaky? How are you still so squeaky? When you were a big boy, you were so squeaky. You are so squeaky. My little squeaky. You're nuts, Sparky. You're nuts. Let me get a fork. Let me get a fork. You ready, Porty? Oh, you ready? Who remembers when Porty wouldn't eat? Come on, my smalls. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Come on. Sit. Porter, sit. Barkley, sit. 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 Oh, that itchy nose, you're lucky. This weather is about as erratic as I am when it's my time of the month. Sun shining, birds are singing. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. However, I thought I'd show you the boots that I got yesterday, but I've also had a little Amazon parcel arrive, which I actually ordered today and arrived today. We don't get this sort of service in the countryside, so I'm actually quite impressed. I meant to order it last night, but I forgot, I fell asleep. But I also wanted to show you the boots that I chose to buy yesterday. So when I was filming my content yesterday, I also realised that I need to get one of those sucker things for my phone. And my current case doesn't work with the sucker thingies. So I'm changing my case and I'm gonna add the suckers on. And I also picked up this book. Now this book holds a very, very poignant place in my heart because I tried to read this when I was in the thick of lockdown. And if anyone that's read this, they will know that it's quite a harrowing story. And I feel like this fits very interestingly into what we were talking about earlier, where The Independent's written an astonishing narrative of two people dragging themselves from the depths of despair along some of the most dramatic landscapes in the country, looking for a solution to their problems and ultimately finding themselves. Now, I never reached the end of this book because I was so sad when I was trying to read this, and I really just needed a bit of an escape rather than more sadness and more misery, that I never finished it. And now I want to finish it because I feel like this is going to be a really, really lovely story to read. And it's not as thick as I remember, so I bought that on Amazon as well. I also picked up some of my razors. These are the little face razors that I use to sort out my brows and just keep them shaped nicely. But yeah, that was in my Amazon order. And then I'm going to show you my boots. Well, oh my gosh. Well, this is a lovely, lovely, unexpected surprise. Oh my goodness. So this is from Giorgio Armani. What do we have in here? So we have the Prismaglass High Shine Hydrating Oil Infused Lip Gloss, Luminous Silk Cheek Tint, My Way Nectar. Wow, very intrigued to try those. Clear Shine. Oh, how exciting! I'm gonna have a play with those. Although tomorrow I'm riding, so won't be doing any beauty bits and pieces. So, I had a gaggle of girls at RB Equestrian helping me choose my boots yesterday. And we had the whole bloomin' like shoe store out. And I actually ended up going for a brand that I didn't think I was gonna go for. So I looked at Ariat and I looked at De Niro, and I very nearly bought a pair of De Niro boots. However, they knew that I liked more of a like shiny leather, not patent, but like a sort of, what's the word? Box leather. And so they went and got me this pair of Mountain Horse boots, and they were perfect. And the good thing was they made sure that I got boots that are gonna last and not stretch out. So these are super tight, and I am going to be popping these on tomorrow when I go riding, which I'm really looking forward to. So yes, those are the boots that I went for. Very excited to finally have a pair of boots to ride in properly, because doing it in my Fairfax and Favour Reginas was not the one. So I've got them now, that's ticked off my list. I've got all of the gear, still no idea. And but happy nonetheless. So I'll pop those to one side. And oh my gosh, I didn't show you. These arrived, my cocktail napkins. So I designed these to be like, as if they were antique linen. I don't think they had cocktail napkins in the olden days, but these are the same monogram as my linen tissue paper covers with the MG. And I just, these are perfect for putting out when you're doing like a sort of picky bits, whether it's like a grazing table or just crisps and bits and pieces like that, just to have a little napkin that you can use to just, you know, pop on a plate. I always found that my other napkins were really bulky, so fabulous addition to my hosting plethora of things. And then finally, I had, oh gosh, I've had a delivery from Elizabeth Arden. I've had a delivery from Karen Millen, and feel like we should open this up upstairs, really. Let's do it upstairs. Don't tell me that I don't offer you varied content. This is an order from Karen Millen. They have such lovely stuff on there at the moment. And I know you often only see my collection from me. So I thought I would show you what I ordered. So this dress, oh my goodness. This just looks so smart. I actually wish that I'd had this. Oh no, oh, it's not got a mark on it. It's just a bit of fluff. I actually wish I had this dress for Wimbledon, because this is such a good Wimbledon dress. It's like a very thick but bow neck dress. Very simple, classic, gorgeous midi dress. Feels very Amelia Wickstead, very like smart and tailored, but still super elegant. Can you see this light? This is the worst light. I will obviously try these items on for you as well. So I think that if I was going to Wimbledon this week, this would be the outfit that I wear. I would probably need to have this taken in a little bit. I usually do with Karen Millen pieces anyway. I just have them taken in to fit me. So I think I'm going to take the blue one because I want to wear that to a wedding reception. But I love this. I think the bow detail is so pretty. I think the neck could be taken in as well, and it feels so like elevated. I could also go for gloves with this as well. I've got like my tulle gloves, but you could go for cotton gloves. Because it's so clean and classic, I think it's a really nice vibe. And I love the light tones of this. I think it was Jerry Halliwell or Jerry Horner who wore like an all-white Alexander McQueen dress to Wimbledon last year, and she almost had like a sort of bombshell waves in her hair. She looked fantastic, and so I always think that if in doubt, classic white, no other colours at Wimbledon. It's like the Wimbledon whites, so perfect. And this is a really, really lovely option. And the bow is the sort of, it's like a really elegant bow. It's not fluffy, it's just, it still feels very clean cut and finished to perfection. I can't wait to try it on in the blue. I'll link this down below. And the good thing about Karen Millen is they often do, like, I think it's like next day delivery up until, is it 8 or 10 p.m? I'll specify in the description box exactly what it is, but it's so quick. So if you need something last minute for Wimbledon and you want to look very, very chic, I think this is a great option. It also had it in baby blue, which makes it a perfect wedding guest dress as well. This baby blue is so pretty. So again, for that event dressing, that kind of thing, really lovely colour. And again, what you do is you do the bow at the neck really, really fancily. And the good thing is you can do it up without having it on, because it means you can perfect the bow. Not that I've perfected that in any way, shape or form. That is a terrible, terrible bow, Lydia. Don't let anyone see that. You always brag about your bows and how good you are at doing them, and that is a terrible effort, okay? Bit better, but that sort of, oh, really simple, clean cut look. Now this is the blue option, and it's a very sort of lavendery hue blue. I was going to go with my Emmy London like bow court shoes, but I went for these ivory ones instead. I think this would be really lovely for like a wedding guest. It's so subtle, and if you're someone that's maybe you find it difficult around weddings, because that is somewhere I always struggle, because I'm so drawn to like whites and neutrals, and that's your beiges, your ivories, your whites. When you feel you're most comfortable in those colours, attending a wedding where you want to feel like yourself but also want to be respectful, this feels like a really lovely option, because the blue is so delicate and it has that lavender hue to it. So I would say, again, with cotton gloves, you could go for a hat. Any kind of event dressing, this would be lovely as well. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Of course it does have pockets as well, but I would just say that if you are on the sort of smaller side, you may need to have this just taken in to bring it in and really give it that almost tailor-made feel. I love getting things like this just nipped slightly so they fit beautifully. So I think I'm just going to take this to the seamstress that I take all of my bits and pieces to, and have it and then also at the neck as well, just a little, but yeah, really pretty. It's got a little keyhole detail as well, but you can't really see it that much, which I prefer anyway. I like to see the details of the bow, so love this. This is the my green dress from my collection, but this is it in black. I thought this would be super chic and super understated. Like I always say, I love a black dress in spring, summer. I thought this would be lovely. This to me is my happy place. A beautiful linen black dress like this is so lovely. I didn't actually check the size on this because this feels a bit bigger than my green one, so I'm not entirely sure, but I love nothing more than adding a touch of richness to black linen. I think it just gives it a different feel entirely, and I actually received the hats that I wanted to wear to Wimbledon last week. I was so sad, but it was just one of those things where stock wasn't in, and so they've arrived anyway, perfect for summer. I saw these on my friend Lauren, and when she showed this hat in particular, I was like, well, I absolutely have to. It's so beautifully made, it really is. It's a brand called Meraki Heritage, and you just need to be aware that it's coming from Monaco. So I think this, obviously when I've not got a bun this high, will be so lovely with the outfit, and I'll link this down below. But if you're looking for a hat for your summer holidays, this one is so perfect. I've actually got a black one as well, so if I wanted to do like the whole black look, I absolutely have that option. So this one has a slightly smaller trim, and what I love about these hats is it almost just looks like you've stolen your husband's hat, especially this one. These remind me of like my grandpa and things like that, the hats that he would wear when we were on holiday, and it just looks like you've stolen someone's hat, and it just looks super chic with your outfit. And the black feels a little bit more elevated, a little bit more feminine in its like black trim, with the black trim, and just looks just as gorgeous with the outfit. So yeah, love those and love the dress, but I think it must be just a different size because it looks so much bigger. So bizarre. And then the final piece is this sort of rust coloured linen cap sleeve dress. This looks really pretty on as well, so I thought I would give it a go. It's got like a really lovely like wrap to it, so you tie it at the back so you can cinch it in to suit. Now it looks more cherry red on this camera, but it is more of a rust, I would say. Really lovely maxi length, very, very nice. So I'll show you that one on as well. This dress I love. It still looks very cherry red on there. I think the fit of this is actually really nice on the shoulder, especially for someone like me. Usually I wouldn't be able to get my shoulders into a dress like this, but actually I think it's really, really nice. The only thing I would say, a little bit gapey on the front. Again, if you wanted to have it like nipped in, you could create a little sort of like seam or something, or just pull it down there. Just a little bit something to be conscious of. You could wear a cami with this though, because it's got that more relaxed feel. Really lovely length as well, and I think this is one of those dresses that you want zero faff with. So I think a beautiful French market bag like this is perfect, just so effortless. Hair up, sunnies on, heading on your holidays, and a really nice colour as well. It feels like quite rich, but not too, in my opinion, not too colourful, because I'm never really one to go for those like really bright hues, and this is gorge. Love. I will link all of those pieces in the description box down below as usual, because you know, I just think that Cara Millen does such lovely stuff, and I'll always show you pieces that I think are lovely. I've just realised that's all of the outfits as well, so I will pop all of the links down below. So if you're looking for something for a holiday, maybe it's last minute, something like that, they always do such quick turnaround when it comes to things that you order. They arrive so quickly. Like, I would say their infrastructure for getting their orders out is most definitely one of the best. So I'll link all of the items and anything that I've mentioned in the description box down below.